let's build my TBR together for the month of September. Every single month I do this using my TBR game. It's time to figure out what I'm going to be reading in September using my TBR game Snakes and TBR Stacks. This is inspired by Snakes and Ladders. This month we're going to do 6 rolls because I did not complete my TBR last month. And essentially I roll the die, I move how many spaces it says. If I land on a snake, I have to go down that snake and I add another roll, so another book. And if I land on a ladder, I go up the ladder, and the prompt that you landed on was kind of like a reward prompt. I'm always excited to see what books will make it since it is determined by what prompts I land on. However, I have another thing that I have to keep in mind this month. I am co-hosting the Readathon Rebellion, which is created by Mel from Melanie Reads. This is a month-long competitive board game readathon, and the thing is, you're not competing against other teams. You're competing as a team because enough of us have to complete our mission, which is done by rolling on the board, that we end up rescuing our leader at the end of the month. So it's competitive, but competitive in the base that like you can lose the board game, but not competitive against other readers. It's like we're all on the same team, and I think that is so cool. I'm really excited. Mel created this whole board game that we get to roll through, and there are 4 prompts that we have to do. These are our 4 mission prompts, and so I will talk you through today if a book I roll ends up fitting for a mission prompt, but you can also land on other prompts along the way, and each prompt will expand on the story that she's created, the rebellion that we are assisting in. It's honestly so cool. She's put so much thought into it. Like, there's over 50 prompts, I think, and each one has a story to go along with it slightly. Like, she blew me out of the water with this one, and I definitely need everyone to participate. So the link is down below. You know what to do. After this video, you can go watch it, sign up, and I'm excited to see what everyone is rolling through the month. So I do have to keep in mind that. I want to keep in mind that I want to be reading for those 4 objectives, and I also will be reading for other rolls throughout the month. I plan on doing a vlog for it where I showcase my journey. But that's it for readathons for me this month. I think I will participate in a few others, but I haven't 100% decided. So if you have any readathons that you think are cool, let me know down below. But I will be helping Mel out and sprinting throughout the month. There will definitely be some public sprints on my channel, as well as a bunch of other creators who have agreed to help her. So it's going to be a fun month full of a lot of live sprints. Also extra exciting because Mel will be with me leading up to this, and I think that that is cool. And now I've been with 2 of my friends leading up to their readathons, because I was also with Lexi last year for Escape. I like being a part of these really special moments. Last time we ended on skip, so we go up the ladder and we start here. Roll 1. 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We landed on physical TBR, which is always an easy prompt because I just have to look at my shelves and go, what do I want to read? This one was actually easy because I do have a read-along happening on my Patreon for the Witchland series because the final book in that series is finally coming out, and I loved this series when I read it once upon a time, and I wanted to refresh my brain and reread it. So we read Truth Witch in August, and in September as a group we will be buddy reading Wind Witch. I'm really excited to see if people vibe with this one. So far I feel like most people have enjoyed Truth Witch. Maybe not their favorite book, but they've definitely enjoyed it and wanted to continue on. I, however, love Truth Witch and gave it 5 stars. But I remember Wind Witch really selling the characters on me. I remember being like, oh yeah, these are good characters that I'm going to enjoy following in Wind Witch. And so I'm extra excited to see if other people agree with me. I also think book 1 in the series is very much a setup series. This is such an epic scope story. I definitely think it feels YA, but I do know a lot of people don't just because of the complexity of it. There are prophecies on prophecies on prophecies, and every little thread weaves together. And I think in Wind Witch you really start to see that. Truth Witch, you just got like a little glimpse into it, but not a lot explained. And then as the story continues, you really start to see it all slowly come undone and you understand everything. This series is multi-POV, but the first book, Truth Witch, starts following our main character. Each book kind of picks a character to follow, so this one kind of follows the Wind Witch a little bit more. But in Truth Witch, we follow our main character who is a Truth Witch, and there hasn't been a Truth Witch for thousands of years. She has told no one really that she's a Truth Witch, because if they find out that she is one, only 2 things really could happen. 1, they will use her for political favor and political gain, and she'll be a pawn forever used. 2, they will murder her because she's too powerful. Essentially, you cannot lie to her. If you speak to her, she can tell whether you're telling the truth or not. Now, there's always loopholes to things like this with truth magic, but it is really strong in my opinion. It's always been something that I thought would be an interesting thing to know, whether someone's lying to you or not. Like, I do think it would be such a cool power, and really would, if you're a political leader, put you on top of the world, even with those loopholes. So we kind of follow her as the world finds out about her and she tries to escape because she does not want either of those outcomes. And we follow her group of like family she finds along the way, essentially. But there's also prophecies and way more in this book than just that like basic premise. And Wind Witch really will start to unravel some of those, so I'm really excited to get to this. I forgot how much I loved this series, so I can't wait to get to book 2. I will be, honestly, just waiting for my Patreon to be like, yeah, let's all start it now. Because we typically try to read them around the same time. It doesn't always happen, and we have Discord chats and stuff, but I definitely will be waiting for some people to be like, I'm ready to start, and then we can all start it together, and that's always a lot of fun. But I will be salivating at the mouth until then, because I need to continue this ASAP. Roll 2. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Black or white cover. Honestly, always an easy one, but the thing is, I think I've put the same series for this every single time I've landed on it this year, and I'll be putting Zodiac Academy 5 Cursed Fates. 4 and 3 definitely were picked for black and white cover. I've landed on this quite a bit, and I'm always adding the next Zodiac Academy book, but last month I read Zodiac Academy 4, revisited the world. It had been a couple months, and I remembered that I need to binge these. I love this series. I love this world. It reminds me of a CW show through and through, and I am a CW show girl. There was nothing better than tuning in to the Vampire Diaries, the originals, Pretty Little Liars, Gossip Girl, like whatever the CW show that was running constantly and was trending, I was watching that every single week, and this really definitely feels like one. It's long, it's expansive, but it's like a slice of life at the same time, but never feels like it's dragging. It's messy, it's political, it's family drama, it's relationship drama, it's all of these things, and I absolutely love it, and it makes it so inherently bingeable, like a CW show. Like, I can watch 8 seasons of a CW show in a month if I tried. I honestly don't even have to try. Sometimes it just happens. In this one, we follow 2 girls who are sisters, and they find out that they are the long-lost heirs to the Solaria throne, and they're broke. They are stealing for a living, and when they find this out, they are told, if you go to Zodiac Academy and graduate, you have an inheritance waiting for you at the end, but you have to graduate from Zodiac Academy. And they need that. So they say, okay, bet. I'll be there. I'll graduate. When they get to that school, there are these men who've been training their whole life to be the heirs since the sisters were long lost. And they don't want to give up their right to the kingdom. So instead, they decide to bully the girls to make them drop out, because if they never graduate, they don't have a right to this kingdom. And we see how that goes. And it's great. It's so much fun. I love this so much. Oh, I forgot to tell you about Wind Witch or this one. Look at me already forgetting things. Wind Witch would count for 2 of the prompts in my opinion, a book with 2 or more points of views, as well as a fast-paced book. Zodiac Academy would also count for those exact same 2 prompts. Roll 3. 6. Am I just counting down? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Next up, we landed on new, which can be new to my TBR or new release, and I'm gonna pick new release because I'm very excited for the second book in the Eating Woods duology to come out, called Eldritch. Anathema is a book I gave 3 stars. It felt too long, but I have thought about that book every day since I finished it. There was something that spoke to me in that book that I just really enjoyed, and I have been heavily anticipating the next book in it. So I'm very excited that it's coming out now and that I get to read it, and I just know that being back in this like gothic, atmospheric, interesting story, like it felt so different to anything else I had read, which is why I think it has stuck with me. I know it's going to be a good time, and I'm very, very excited to read it. I don't really know how to explain what Anathema is about. It's like this gothic story following our main character who lives in a small town, and there's essentially woods on the side, and she is told to never cross the woods because anyone who crosses the woods never comes back. Everyone just assumes that they're dead and there's something in the woods. However, as a baby, she actually was just found like pretty much on the border of these woods and taken in and adopted. She hasn't really been treated that well since then in the town because they think that she is of the woods and then don't really want to associate with her. And then we also follow what is on the other side of that woods, and I loved that so much. You want to talk about a dark shadow daddy? This book. That's the epitome. Morally gray shadow daddy. That is anathema. Roll 4. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ebook and a snake. And of course we go down the snake. It's not a TBR game without a snake, but at least we landed on ebook, which is very easy. And for this one, I'm actually putting an arc, and I'm going to try to get into the spooky season a little bit and read Play Nice by Rachel Harrison. I've read and loved Rachel Harrison, but I've also read and really not liked Rachel Harrison, so I'm interested to see where this book falls. If I don't like it, I think I might give up on her, but this one sounds so good. It reminds me of Home Before Dark by Riley Sager, but campier and funnier, which is what I want from Rachel Harrison, so I'm obsessed with it. We follow a girl who grew up in like a haunted house, and when her parents die, the house goes to her and she's decided to flip the house, but as she does that, she's learning more and more about actually what went on in the house. And I think that that sounds good, and the writing style just seems a little campier and funnier, and I think I could really enjoy that. So I'm very excited to get to this arc that I have, and I believe Play Nice comes out soon, so other people should be able to read it as well. Roll 5. 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nature. Next up, we have nature on the cover, and my 2 top tiers get to vote for something every single month that goes on my TBR, and this is the one I decided to give them. I gave them Court of Lies and Deceit. There are like flowers on the cover, as well as The Dark Mirror. Again, some sort of flowers on the cover. And then I gave them Blood Over Brighthaven, which there seemed to be an argument whether there was nature on the cover, but I counted the fire as nature. Fire is a natural thing seen in nature and a force of nature for me, so I did count the fire on the cover. You know what, this morning I was really disappointed in them because I clearly had one I wanted to win that I clearly want to read and have been shouting about, and this morning it was not winning. It is currently winning, and I'm very happy with them. But they picked The Dark Mirror. It literally won by 1 vote over Blood Over Brighthaven, which Blood Over Brighthaven is so loved, I probably should have known that, but I personally am not expecting to love it considering I didn't love Sword of Kaigen because of the pacing. I just felt it was really slow and boring. Sorry, I know that is such a well-loved book, so I'm glad they didn't pick that one. Even though like I am interested in reading it, I clearly wanted this to win. Like, it is a sequel to a series I binged a month ago and have been talking about so much. I thought it was a no-brainer what they would vote for, but they did me dirty, but then they didn't do me dirty because one person outvoted the other one. Thank you to those 21 people who voted correctly. This is the 5th book in the Bone Season series, which is a story set in our world. It's a little dystopian, but a little bit fantastical at the same time, following our main character who is clairvoyant in a world where clairvoyancy is seen as bad. And when she accidentally uses her clairvoyancy at the wrong time, she's sent to a prison. She learns a lot more about her world, and a revolution starts in this series, and I cannot wait to dive back in. I don't know how long I have to wait for the 6th or the 7th book, but that's okay because maybe I'll reread the whole series by the time they come out because I just loved this so much. I think it was so deeply bingeable. I deeply invested myself into this world, the characters, everything. Paige is such a well done main character in my opinion, with strengths and weaknesses and really struggling with being the face of a rebellion and the choices you have to make, the sacrifices you have to make. I love this so freaking much. If you like Revolution Rebellion books, you need to pick this series up. It will be one of my all-time favorite series when it's done. It's gonna be 7 books long and we only have 5, but it's worth it to read it right now. I promise you, it is worth it. And look how pretty these covers are. And these are just like the normal covers now. Ugh, I'm so happy this one. Thank you. Thank you, people. Prompt-wise, just my own social media account, because if you go onto my profile, the first thing you will see is the Bone Season currently. Otherwise, I don't know if this actually counts for any of them. Maybe you could call it fast-paced, but it's pretty chunky. It definitely does not have an action word of the title, and it's typically just Paige's POV. It's not multi-POV. Roll 6. 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I was really hoping for just one snake, but of course my hopes and dreams are always destroyed in snakes and TBR stacks, and we landed on person on the cover, so we have another snake. So I have 2 more rolls to do after this, and hopefully that's the end, but I could land on another snake. I hope not. For person on the cover, I'm going to be putting the Battle Drum, which is the sequel to the Final Strife, which I am actually currently reading at the time of filming this, and I'm really excited to dive deeper into this series and hopefully binge it. I think it's really well crafted and really well done. Essentially, in the Final Strife, we're following a world where there are 3 types of blood. There are red bloods, blue bloods, and clear bloods. And based on the type of blood you have a status in society. And this world is cruel and very much reflective of our own world, which I think makes it feel even crueler, especially in today's political climate. I think this is very much raw and real to what has happened in our past, how things are going. But we follow our main character, who is one of the stolen. Essentially, the Readathon Rebellion decided that they were going to sneak in and replace the babies of high up their red-blooded families with the blue blood baby. So they took some of the red blood kids and they raised them as what they call dusters, which is the blue blood, so that they would be able to have the proper blood to rule one day, but they would have been raised as someone who was discriminated against. This is such a beautiful story. I can't even do it justice with my words, but I'm very excited to continue on in it. I think that this is going to also be one of my favorite series, so can't wait to continue. Sarah El-Arifi has written a beautiful story full of deep, heartbreaking discussions that are very reflective to our life, in my opinion. So very much a recommendation from me as well. If you haven't picked it up, I can't wait to continue the series. Roll 7. 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Friend pick. We landed on friend pick, and for this one I decided to ask Tori from Novel Life, and I told her she could pick whatever she wants. I have access to libraries, Everand, Audible, so I will read whatever she tells me to read, and I'm very excited to see what she picked. And I will insert that clip for you here.
Hi Cassidy and the lovely subscribers who are subscribed to Cassidy's channel. I am so excited to pick a book recommendation for Cassidy. So I have been a fan of Cassidy for a while. I love her reading vlogs, and I just love seeing what she's up to and what she's reading. I've gotten so many recommendations from Cassidy, it's ridiculous, but I'm very excited for the one that I chose. She said that she had access to Kindle Unlimited, libraries, Everand, all of that stuff. So I'm picking a book that's on KU, and there also is an audiobook. It is A Tongue So Sweet and Deadly by Sophia St. Germain. So I personally have been screaming about this book. I loved it. The first 2 books I binged in like a couple of days. It is a fantasy romance with trials, which is so interesting because the back of the book doesn't actually say it's with trials, but it is done in such a unique way that it kept my attention. It has a half-fae female character, which I really love. You see that she has a blood oath to the king, and he comes to her and was like, hey, do you want this blood oath to be gone? If you do this one final task for me, and you basically will earn your freedom. And she's like, all right, here we go, we're gonna do it. She has to be in the running for regent of the town that she lives in. She's supposed to spy on everyone else that is also in the running for regent. With becoming regent, that is where the trials come in. From page 1, there's action, and you just don't want to stop reading. It does end on a decent cliffhanger, but book 2 also has the ebook out on Kindle Unlimited, and book 3 just came out, but there's no audio yet. You're a fantasy romance girly, so I really hope you enjoy this one.
Complete fluke. I literally texted her and I was like, oh my god, you did me the biggest favor without even knowing it, because she picked this book not knowing that Mel and me had just decided on it for our Patreon buddy read, so I had to read this in the month of September anyways, so it was perfect to get it on the TBR. We had just been hearing a lot about this, that it had trials, which is something we like, and a lot of our patrons were interested in reading it. Our 2 top tiers have access to our Not So Indie Archive Discord, where we buddy read something every single month together. Can't wait to get this one. I don't have a lot of thoughts. I've kind of kept myself a little spoiler free from it, but I'm very, very excited to see what I have in store for me with this terribly named fantasy romance. But listen, last time I thought a book was so terribly named, it ended up being my favorite fantasy romance of all time. I'm talking to you, Serpent of the Wings of Night. I could never remember that name for the life of me originally, and I was like, this is an awful book name, and now I love that book. So fingers crossed, the trend continues. I don't know what prompts in Mel's readathon this will account for. There's a good chance it would show up on a social media scroll, because it's being very much talked about on like Book Talk and stuff right now. And because it has trials, I'm assuming it's also fast-paced, because those tend to go hand in hand for me. And hopefully our last roll. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And lastly, thank the Lord, we ended up on yellow or orange cover, which is so hard. When I made these like cover color squares, I didn't really think about how little yellow or orange covers I have because they do stand out on my shelves. Like Sparkly Everflame right there, it pops. So I just assumed it would be kind of easy to find. That's wrong. And I always really struggle to find them. And I had a couple ideas, but I ended up going with one that I think will shock some of you. It's got a lot of yellow on the cover. The cover itself is black, but in my opinion, there's enough yellow for me to count it. It doesn't have to be orange and yellow. It just has to be a predominant amount of that color to count. And I'm typically a little bit more lenient with yellow and orange because I struggle finding them versus like I never struggle to find blue or black covers. But I'm going to be picking Dungeon Crawler Carl. Everyone, and I mean everyone I know loves this book. And I wasn't that interested in it. And then someone commented when I said I loved Revolution and Rebellion books that this does have that aspect to it. And I think that with some of the comedy and the fast-pacedness that I think this book has, I think I'm ready to try it and hopefully love it. I'm also back in an era where like I've been really craving fantasy. I've been kind of talking about how I'm craving girl fantasy though, and like fantasy written by women for women, but Dungeon Crawl Carl is calling my name and I think there's enough yellow on this to count it, and it's my game, my rules, so I'm going to count it. I've been told to listen to the audiobook, so I will definitely be doing that, but I'm very excited for this one. I'm nervous because I don't want to be the only person to not like this book, and I could be. I'm known to be that person, but what if I love it and obsess over it the way everyone else is? Then I'm like in on the know. So yeah, I'm very, very much excited for this one. Again, probably could find it on a social media scroll pretty easily. It's supposed to be just like the first thing you find, so I can't really tell you that one like right away, but I definitely could see this one coming up in that because I just see it talked about everywhere. I think it's single POV though, so wouldn't count for that one. And I do think I would count crawler as an action word, so it does fit for that one. It's probably fast paced. I don't know. That one's hard to do without reading the book in my opinion, or knowing it has something like trials that make it lean towards fast paced. I honestly don't really know anything about this book, so I'm not going to give you a synopsis or anything, but just know I'm excited to read it. Honestly, I think that's a pretty good stack, pretty doable. I'm excited for every single book on this TBR. Thank the Lord, patrons, for picking the right book. And I hope that means I have a really good September. I could really use it. I would love to know what you've put on your September TBR and if you're participating in the Readathon Rebellion. And if you're not, you definitely should. Make sure to go check out the announcement video, which will be linked down below and on the screen right here for you to check out. And if you made it all the way to the end of this video and you'd like to leave me an emoji just to say you were here, leave me a rock emoji. I don't know. That's what I thought of with dungeons. And have yourselves an absolutely remarkable day.